The Arctic is melting. This is not news. It is a fact, visible from space and evident in the rising sea levels lapping at the world's shores. What was once a frozen wasteland, impenetrable and unforgiving, is now slowly revealing itself. This transformation, driven by climate change, is ushering in a new era, an era of opportunity and competition in the world's most northerly region. As the ice recedes, it unveils more than just barren land. New shipping routes are opening up, promising faster and cheaper trade between the Atlantic and Pacific. Beneath the melting ice lie vast reserves of natural resources, oil, gas, minerals, lying dormant for millennia, now tantalizingly within reach. This new Arctic reality has not gone unnoticed. Global powers, long aware of the region's potential, are now scrambling to secure their interests. The Arctic, once a desolate backwater, is transforming into a geopolitical battleground. At the heart of this new great game lies Greenland, the world's largest island, strategically positioned between North America and Europe. Greenland is vast, its ice sheet covering an area 3 times the size of Texas. But size is only part of the story. Greenland's strategic significance lies in its location, perched atop the North American continent, a stepping stone between the Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. This geographic reality has not been lost on military strategists throughout history. During the Cold War, Greenland served as a vital link in the early warning system between the United States and the Soviet Union. Radar stations perched on Greenland's icy mountains scanned the skies for incoming missiles, a constant reminder of the precarious balance of power. Today, Greenland's strategic importance is only growing. The Arctic is no longer a frozen barrier but a potential shortcut between the world's 2 largest economies, the United States and China. Control over Greenlandic waters and airspace could prove decisive in any future conflict. Greenland's allure is not limited to its geography. Beneath the ice lies a treasure trove of natural resources, a tempting prize for resource-hungry nations. Geologists estimate vast reserves of oil and natural gas lie off Greenland's coast, potentially rivaling some of the world's largest existing fields. But the real riches may lie beneath the ice itself. Greenland is rich in rare earth elements, essential components in everything from smartphones to wind turbines to electric car batteries. These minerals, often found in small quantities, are crucial for the technologies driving the 21st century, and Greenland could hold a significant portion of the world's untapped reserves. This mineral wealth has sparked a global scramble. Countries like China, heavily reliant on imported rare earths, are eager to secure access to Greenland's resources. This pursuit of resources is adding a new dimension to the geopolitical competition in the Arctic. The United States has long recognized Greenland's strategic importance. During World War II, as Nazi Germany occupied Denmark, the US established a military presence in Greenland, protecting vital supply lines to Europe. This presence continued throughout the Cold War, with the construction of Thule Air Base, a key installation in America's early warning and missile defense system. Today, Thule remains a vital asset for the US military, tracking satellites and monitoring space debris, but America's interest in Greenland extends beyond Thule. The US Coast Guard has increased its presence in the Arctic, conducting patrols and exercises to assert freedom of navigation and counter growing Russian and Chinese activity. The US sees itself as an Arctic nation, with interests in maintaining stability and security in the region. Greenland, with its strategic location and untapped resources, is central to this vision. Section 5. The Greenland Purchase Debacle, Trump's controversial proposal. In 2019, former US President Donald Trump made headlines worldwide with a startling proposal. He wanted to buy Greenland. This audacious, some might say outlandish idea was met with a mixture of amusement and disbelief by the international community. Trump's rationale was clear. He saw Greenland's strategic location and resource potential as valuable assets for the United States. The purchase, he argued, would be a large real estate deal beneficial to both countries. Denmark, however, swiftly rejected the proposal. Greenland is not for sale, they declared, reaffirming their sovereignty over the island and its people. The episode, while ultimately a diplomatic non-starter, highlighted Greenland's growing importance in global geopolitics. Section 6. The Dragon's Reach, China's growing influence in Greenland. While the US has a long history in Greenland, China is a relative newcomer. However, China's rise as a global power has been accompanied by a growing appetite for resources, and Greenland has not escaped their attention. In recent years, Chinese companies have invested heavily in Greenland's mining sector, seeking access to its mineral wealth. China has also shown an interest in infrastructure projects, proposing to build airports and harbors in Greenland. These investments, while presented as mutually beneficial, have raised concerns in Western capitals about China's long-term strategic goals in the Arctic. China's growing influence in Greenland is a testament to its global ambition and its willingness to challenge traditional power structures. The Arctic, once a peripheral concern, is now firmly on China's radar. Section 7. Arctic Sea Routes, Reshaping Global Trade and Commerce. The melting Arctic ice is opening up new possibilities for trade and commerce. The Northern Sea Route, which runs along the Russian Arctic coast, offers a significantly shorter route between Europe and Asia compared to traditional shipping lanes through the Suez Canal. Greenland sits astride this emerging Arctic shipping route, potentially becoming a key hub for trans-Arctic trade. The development of deepwater ports and other infrastructure could transform Greenland's economy, turning it into a vital link in the global supply chain. However, the environmental impact of increased shipping traffic through the Arctic is a major concern. Melting ice, while opening up new routes, is also disrupting traditional hunting grounds for indigenous communities and threatening fragile Arctic ecosystems. Section 8. Denmark's Dilemma, Balancing Sovereignty and Defense. Denmark faces a dilemma. As Greenland's sovereign power, Denmark is responsible for its defense and foreign policy. However, Denmark's military capabilities are limited, and it relies heavily on NATO, and particularly the United States, for security in the Arctic. The growing geopolitical competition in the Arctic is forcing Denmark to reassess its security posture. In recent years, Denmark has increased its military spending, deploying fighter jets to Greenland and strengthening its naval presence in the region. Denmark is walking a tightrope, balancing its commitment to Greenland's defense with its reliance on allies, all while navigating the complex web of international relations in a rapidly changing Arctic. Section 9. The European Union, Seeking Cooperation in the Arctic. The European Union, though not an Arctic state itself, has a vested interest in the region's stability and security. The EU has observer status on the Arctic Council, a forum for intergovernmental cooperation among Arctic states, and has called for a peaceful and sustainable development of the Arctic. The EU is also investing in scientific research in the Arctic, focusing on climate change and its impact on the region. The EU sees cooperation as essential to address the challenges and opportunities presented by the changing Arctic. However, the EU's influence in the Arctic is limited. The EU's Arctic policy is often seen as fragmented, with different member states pursuing their own national interests. The EU's reliance on Russian gas also complicates its relationship with Moscow, a key player in the Arctic. Section 10. A Future Uncertain, Greenland's Quest for Independence. At the heart of this geopolitical drama lies the fate of Greenland and its people. Greenlanders are seeking greater autonomy from Denmark, driven by a desire for self-determination and control over their own destiny. The discovery of vast natural resources has fueled this desire for independence, with some Greenlanders believing that resource wealth can pave the way to a prosperous future as an independent nation. However, the path to independence is fraught with challenges. Greenland is heavily reliant on Danish economic subsidies, and independence would require a radical transformation of its economy. The lack of infrastructure and skilled labor also poses significant obstacles to developing its resources and attracting foreign investment. Greenland's future hangs in the balance. The global tug-of-war over its resources and strategic location is only intensifying, leaving Greenlanders to navigate a complex geopolitical landscape as they chart their own course.